Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Robert, me, and Shalene Hall's Show of Secrets. Tonight, we're going to interview our second host, which is Shalene Hall. Shalene, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing really good. How are you, Robert?
You're looking wonderful.
You are too. It's good to see you again.
Absolutely. Please, let's have a seat.
Thank you.
Now, tell me about yourself. I mean, we've been together, what, for about a year and a half?
Yes.
Okay. And then you have, we all have some kind of, what do you call it, instance that have happened in our life which has caused us concern, or where we have learned a lesson of some sort, like the last one I had. And I understand you had one really close call.
Oh, yes, I did. I was in high school. I was in 10th grade.
Mm-hmm.
I was in 10th grade.
A little closer.
Anyway, I was in high school in 10th grade.
And I was the third time you were in 10th grade, weren't you?
Don't distract me, Robert. Anyway, we were going, my sisters and my boyfriend and I have two sisters, were going to a ski lodge up in Willamette, Oregon. I had moved to Oregon in the 10th grade, and a group of friends and I were going to go skiing.
So you were in the 10th grade in Oregon?
Yes.
And then you had decided to go skiing.
Yes.
But you've never skied before.
No, this was a new experience for me, but I have water skied and I've ice skated and roller skated
didn't it seem
and
kind of
other
scary
things.
or something?
Well, I would have started on the bunny slope, so it wouldn't have mattered. I'm sure I'd have done all right just starting out. I wouldn't
And
do much.
your younger sister was with you?
Yes.
What
Both
is
of my
she? Was she
sisters.
about 5 years younger
No,
than you?
2.
Only, oh, she's 2 years younger than
My older sister's a year older, so we're all very close. So we did a lot of things together. So we went with my boyfriend, he was driving, and the other group of kids were in another car. And we went up to the ski slopes up in Willamette County, and we left early in the day, nice and early. The weather was nice. We didn't have the Weather Channel like we do now. The weather was nice. Things were going well. It was a sunny, pretty day. It was probably in the low 30s, and we were looking forward to having a good time. We got up to the slopes, hadn't been there very long, and the weather started changing. It got very cloudy, started to snow, the temperature started dropping very rapidly.
Oh, wow.
Then they had reports on the weather that the roads were closing, the pass was closing. It was time to leave the resort and go on back down the mountain and get back down to safety. So we packed up things.
Were you kind of concerned or scared or anything?
I was, because I don't like mountain passes and I don't like bad weather. I don't like slick roads.
I don't think I'd ever want to do that, no.
I was concerned.
Not my forte.
But the other group of kids, they got together and they left about 15-20 minutes before we did, and we headed on down the mountain. By this time it had dropped down from maybe 32, 34 degrees down to probably the teens.
Oh.
It was dropping rapidly. The snow was getting heavier
Like
and heavier.
You mean?
Well, it wasn't that cold yet.
I see, okay.
The weather got colder and colder. It snowed harder and harder. It was starting to accumulate on the roads. We started heading down the mountains. I decided I don't want to see what's going on. I just kind of laid my head to the side and closed my eyes. Hadn't been very long. All of a sudden, a loud crunch and a bang.
Oh, my.
And we went sliding over the side of the mountain.
Oh, my
And
God.
you talk about scary. There was a semi-truck that was coming down behind us that couldn't control their driving, couldn't stop coming around a curve.
So it banged you in the back?
Hit us from the rear, knocked us over the side of the mountain.
Oh, my goodness.
Literally dropped us over the side of the mountain.
Driving?
My boyfriend.
Your boyfriend was driving?
Dropped us over the side of the mountain about 30 feet.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know how tall the mountain was, but I'd say it was a good minimum 5,000 feet
rolling
drop.
down the mountain?
We didn't roll down the mountains. We slid over the side, and fortunately there were some rock outcroppings and some small little trees and things, and the car landed on its side.
Just hanging there in midair?
Caught on the rocks.
Oy vey. Oy.
And the small trees and stuff. And it was kind of tottering. We were all kind of holding our breath. We're looking out the windows, and I mean, nothing but a drop. I mean, you know, when the trees look this little on the bottom, you know you're a long ways up.
Wow.
You talk about scary.
I guess
and it's
so,
like,
wow.
It's cold, it's too cold, we can't stay in the car because we'll freeze.
So what'd you do?
So what we did is we very carefully pushed the door open on the passenger side because the car was on the other door side. The car was on its side. Pushed the car open. It actually teetered a little bit. And one at a time climbed out of the car.
Oh, aren't you
and
lucky?
Started climbing about 30 feet up the side of the mountain. Now I had on coat and gloves and hat, so did my sisters and stuff.
But you lost one shoe.
It was cold. Well, I was getting to that. I was climbing out and got up about, maybe 10 feet from the car, 20 feet, and stepped down in a low depression, didn't know it was there. Stepped down to about my knee in the snow, pulling my leg out. My shoe went flying off down the side of the mountain. So I'm without one shoe. And it's starting to get dark. It's terribly cold. We're on the outside bend of the road. So we climb up to the side of the mountain and we huddle all together in the little crook of the mountain up as close to the face of the mountain as we can to stay out of the snow and the wind. And
so how did you find to get down?
Huddled together. Well, it was long after dark. We had no idea what time it was at this time. A young man in a little red sports car. And I mean a small sports car. I don't know what it was,
You mean
but
like
it was
a Volkswagen?
probably. It wasn't a Volkswagen.
Maybe
It was
a
something
Metropolitan.
fancier than that, but it wasn't much bigger than a Carmen Ghia or something. It was a little, four on the floor.
Like a Metropolitan.
And, yeah, little bitty thing. It was very sporty. We all climbed into this car, sitting on each other's laps with our knees on our chins.
Oh wow!
And he very slowly drove us back down the mountain. We ended up going back to a truck stop and came inside, got hold of the parents, called them, told them where we were and that we were okay. You can imagine my mother was frantic having all of her children in one car.
And then, so what do you think this taught you? Any lesson?
Anyway, we all made it safe. No frostbite either, which was wonderful. But I tell you one thing, it taught me that life can be very short. Things can change very quickly. You need to appreciate your family and what you have. And if you've got dreams, get out there and pursue them. Make the most of life, because
I agree with this
you
one.
never know. You
Absolutely.
could be, teens no matter what, and it could be all over in a
Don't
flash.
wait.
So
Do it now.
appreciate your life. That's right. Do
Absolutely.
it now.
Do it now.
So that was
never know what's
quite a
around the
lesson,
corner.
and believe me, I have never forgotten it.
Oh, I can well imagine. Well, Shalene, I really appreciate
Thank
your coming here and talking to everyone and sharing your life event with us. Absolutely.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
I
Thank
enjoy
you.
talking with
Oh,
you.
absolutely.
Thank you too.
Absolutely.
And you have a good
Oh, here,
evening
here,
now.
here.
Thank you.
Oh, let's have one
A
last
toast.
toast.
To us.
Success.